text. So I always love to. uh, you see, the best part of the Eastern wisdom is that I teach from the traditions. So if I talk about the principles, they are responsible, not I am. So I'm always happy whether you say it is not helping me or helping you. So you see that? I don't have any ego that, I'm teaching you. So I'm teaching, I'm explaining the principle, helping you to understand and recognize the life. You get it, you change yourself. You don't get it, you don't change yourself. So you blame me, thank you. You don't, you appreciate me, thank you. Why? Yeah, same thing like any science, scientific gadget. But some people, when the gadget is not working, they throw it, they break into pieces. And that is the problem in their head, not the gadget. Do you see that? How beautiful the journey of this. So, the more we understand with the clarity that why I have to fight with anyone, let me take care of this mind, and the life will change. I have to repair and service this gadget, which is known as mind. First time when I came to US and I bought a used car, it was Lincoln. I was driving on in New Jersey in the night. It was only a couple of days. I didn't tell you. So a cop stopped my car and they said, "Oh, no, show me your license," and he gave me a ticket. It was 25, so because of rain and the slippery condition, it was almost 30 or 32. I said, no, I'm not going to pay anything. So I appeared and they summoned me, so I was in the court. So judge was the beautiful lady. No, I told you, women are always beautiful. so, so she asked me, what you do? I said, I put this into order. She said, what do you mean? I said, I put this machine into order. So she started laughing. I said, now I got it done. So then I explained, it has been just not only 15 days I came to US, and that too on a special visa, and I explained to them. So she had a laugh and she told the cop that you should have listened to him. So the fine was $119. So she said that $19 is a court fee. You have to pay that. But $100 are admonished. I said, thank you very much. Here is your 19. So what is required is that even in the moment of stress and suffering, our intellect should become aware. We should maintain our awareness of that intellect to find the solution in life. You point to your intellect to solve the problem. Don't blame others. Simultaneously, we should understand that is the beauty of this Eastern wisdom. I said, no, I can apply the Eastern wisdom here also in my professional life. And then the judge asked me, are you happy? I said, no, I'm very much more than satisfied. Thank you. But that was the only one and the last until now. I didn't get it. So I think we were talking about 9 obstacles, huh? Physical disorder, dullness, doubt, carelessness, laziness, overindulgence, false perception, non attainment of any experiences, and losing stability. Huh? These are the 9 obstacles that we discussed. At the same time, we also discussed that how these 9 obstacles causes lot of challenges in terms of the symptoms. So you have a chest breathing, quick, short, and the shallow breathing. That is the sign of emotional and mental challenges. Why I'm telling you so late? So that you will become conscious. I check how you breathe. So that is one. That is the one symptom we discussed last week. So, and the second one, the shaking of the body, fidgeting. That includes fidgeting, a signs of restlessness. You are sitting listening to me, and still the body is moving here and there and constantly. Don't be conscious, next time when you're saying. so, so that also is basically a psychological challenge. And we did, what was that? Dukh Dharmanasya. That is dukh and the pain. Our mind all the time is ready to blame, complain, and claim that, I am the only person in this world who is suffering. Perhaps I'm the only person in the world who is suffering much more than anyone. God has been so cruel to me. Then make sure that you are crazy. I'm sorry to say. Provided if you think like that, the moment your mind blames, complains, reacts, resists, instantly recognize it is the problem of the mind. And that is causing you the pain. Once you live into that awareness, my friends, the chances, 90% chances that you are showing the mind the way to get out of these suffering. Suffering includes pain, relationship problems, stress, anxiety, disturbed sleep, physical illnesses, etc. It's a long list. The pain includes all these in Eastern wisdom. Whether you have a physical pain, mental pain, emotional pain, etc., etc. So dukh dharmanasya angame jayatu swasa praswasa. So pain, despair. Despair, oh, desperation. I'm desperate for anything. I have a wonderful teacher who joins my sessions, and that person, I'm not revealing the gender so that you will not come to know, even if you attend my Mondays and Thursdays session. So that person, the moment I start talking to that person, the person says, I'm very busy, awfully busy. For what you are busy? To experience more stress, to cause more suffering in your life? We never think in this way. So, Eastern wisdom changes your entire perspective of life if you start thinking in this way. Sit down. Why you are awfully busy? And I have to earn money. Why you want to earn money? Oh, I have to buy a lot of things. I have to pay bills. Why you want to pay bills? To be happy. Why don't you start with the happiness first? Simple logic. Simple logic. Are you understanding? Let me start my thought, my speech, my action in peace and happiness. The moment I start any thought, speech, and action in reaction, in blame and complaint, and in reaction, it will give me a dividend. Plus money, no doubt. I'm working hard, so it will give me the money plus a dividend. What is that dividend? If you continue that journey for another 10 to 15 years, so no, at least, I became, no, what do you say? We say financially independent. Wonderful. Plus diabetes as a dividend. Plus hypertension as a dividend. So that money is going you're going to spend on those problems. Think of it. I'm saying think. Let me have less money minus these problems. Whom will I choose? Whom will I choose? I had another wonderful, very wonderful student. He's a well-built, physically well-built, spends 2 hours in the gym and then 2 hours in running. I said, why you're doing this too? No, you tell me, I feel tired throughout the day. 2 hours of gym and 2 hours of jogging. What will be the result? What is the result, my friend? Now, I can see that you are single, so your would-be honey will look at your mind, the beauty of your mind. Can you bring down from 2 hours of gym to half an hour of gym? Oh, that is too much. I said, then continue to suffer. You see? So Eastern wisdom says intellect should be remained awakened all the time, 24/7. First thing. And then the Eastern wisdom gives you those principles. So mind is thinking in this direction, take the mind to think in the direction of the Eastern wisdom. And see then what happens. No, I'm too much stressed with my honey. Now I have reached to a stage. Hold on. Calm down your mind. Calm down your mind first. And listen to the Eastern wisdom says you are responsible for your suffering, nobody else. Finished. Give a break. So now you have started changing the direction. Mind will again push you. You change the direction by thinking. So thinking is happening in the mind. Oh, Eastern wisdom says, I'm responsible. How come I'm responsible? What will happen if you continue to think? You change the direction and you will discover that I am responsible for my sorrow and suffering. Let me have you have a big face or a smiling face. What it has to do with me? I will continue teaching smiling. How come you are responsible for my stress and suffering? Think of it. Our master simply says that, my master used to say that, can you start thinking the way I am thinking? Simply do it for a couple of weeks and see what happens. And what happens? The knowledge reveals in you. The intellect reveals the knowledge, and then your mind starts thinking, oh, it is because my mind is so much obsessed with the other person. I want to correct other person for my own sake. It is not going to happen in this life, at least. Do you see that? So when I see and think and be clear that this is not going to happen, I cannot change any person in the world, except I can change myself. Change yourself. No, but I change myself, but I'm living with a guy or a girl. Live with the guy and girl. Who cares? You have changed your mind. And I can tell you, my friends, The moment you bring about that change in your mind, there are two possibilities. Say, for example, you brand other person is impossible. So what is going to happen? You change yourself. So you are already started exerting a positive influence on the other person silently. This is what happens. That is the power of peace and happiness in your mind. It has a tremendous power. I know your mind will say you don't know, how much miserable my life is. I know many people say that. So one possibility is that once you are totally, your mind returns to the peace and that suffering starts dropping. First option, the other guy or a girl will start changing. You need not to even think of it. First option. So when they will change? When that guy and girl has a common sense. What is common sense? Not nonsense, common sense. Take one example. You were reacting before. Now you have found out that reaction is not a remedy. So you calm down. Now the other guy and girl is reacting, you are calm. First time, second time. You don't start thinking of men's liberation and women's liberation. Don't try to exert your ego. Forget about that. Just calm down. Let him or her react. One time, second time, third time. Never say enough is enough. The moment you say enough is enough, it means you keep your ego working. Eastern wisdom is so clear and naked. Naked, I would say. You are so now you have left. Do whatever you want to do, my honey. I am in calm and peace, and I will remain in calm and peace. You cannot disturb my peace. So, first option, the other guy and girl will change. Second option, that other guy and girl will leave you. So, you're still happy. Now, there are a couple of more options in between. Because if the other guy and girl is not able to understand that power of the peace, they are living in extreme ignorance. They are suffering and they want to make others suffer. So they create all kinds of situations and conditions in their life. Let them do. Let them do. Your power of peace and happiness and the joy will find a solution. I'm just making it shorter. There are 5 or 6 stages. It depends on the mind. So if your mind is constantly wandering, then that mind is not able to focus on what changes you have undergone. So they will still blame, oh, I know that you have stopped speaking, but I know you have a reaction inside. They will do everything possible, but you are still maintaining the calm. You are still maintaining that calm. Why? You are a seeker of the Eastern wisdom. It is not in the relationship at home. It is I'm talking about in office or in workplace, with friends and everything, everywhere. We had a very wonderful friend, uh, my and Anne's friend, who lives in Princeton. So we both stopped talking to her. Now she will realize we are not talking about her motto is to how to blame and complain everyone. So Anne told me a couple of months, I'm done with her. I'm not talking to her. I'm also not talking to her. So when we realize that, when we realize, it is better to withdraw rather than our mind says, oh, let me make you understand. Why don't you understand? They will make you understand that you guys are crazy. You cannot understand me. I am the best person in this world. That's why I'm complaining. So, with reference of Anne, I gave her a couple of private lessons, and only half an hour she used to blame and complain about her husband. So I said, my job is easy. Continue. You see, no, I'm not that kind of a coaching coach that, okay, you understand, now you should understand this. So after that, I realized it is not possible. Better to keep a distance. I told her everything. So understand that is the power of this Eastern wisdom. So when we say that this mind is constantly blaming, complaining, and miseries, having a misery and suffering because of the others, because of outer conditions and circumstances, these are known as the impurities of the mind. Impurities of the mind. So what we say, beautiful, what we say, I remember, Manohi dividham proktam, mind is of two types. Now, after understanding the entire background, the master says the mind is of two types, pure and impure. What is impure mind? It has a desire for seeking something from the world outside, and it is constantly subjected to the pressure of blame, complaint, reaction, resistance. That is impure mind. And what is pure mind? Which is devoid of them. So, how to make your mind devoid of all these stuff? Stop thinking about that person or object. Change the direction of the mind. Is it not a common sense? Now come to the same thing. It's a pure common sense. But we claim our nonsense is a common sense. Why? It is another impurity. No, just see that. See, understand that perspective in life. Perspective in life. Why should I spend so much of time in blaming, complaining, reacting to the other people? Let me ask the mind or intellect, use you, let me use you in getting something creative, intuitive. Or let me work for peace and happiness. It takes time. It is not one day affair. So now coming to the main topic. So next sutra in the Patanjali, which says that you can purify the mind by breathing practices. See how I started? How we reach. So now it depends on your pressure and resources. You see, the pressure of the mind to make the mind impure is more, and you are breathing at a lower level. It may have some influence, but it will not have an everlasting influence. So if it is at par, and if it is at par, so you will continue to experience, but after every breathing practice, you will experience, yes, it is working on me. And if the pressure drops down and your breathing practices goes up, we are going to win. But during that practice, you should not get upset. No, I have, no, I cannot do more than this. Or I cannot, I'm doing less. It freshens my mind. And that is what I do. So this breathing practice, we have more than 135 breathing practices in tantra, 135 different types of breathing. Every breathing practice has its own are objective, but the two main factors are there. First, it says, dharana sucho yogyata manasa. It helps you to raise your level of awareness for a temporary period. You see, that's why I give that breathing practice in the middle. First, you're comfortable, and then you do the breathing, and that breathing helps you to freshen the mind, calms down the mind. So you recognize that you are living at a higher level of awareness, but does not last for longer period. In that state of heightened awareness, you move the mind within, and someday you succeed in moving the mind within. You say, "Oh, today's meditation was like the John last week. Then today was wonderful." Perhaps I remember, I recall that. Yeah. So you see that. So it was not because of you. It was that at that moment the mind accepted that breathing practices, you did it, and during that temporary phase, the mind went inside, and ultimately you felt that result. That is the first. And the second is dharana sucho yoga. Tadakshiyate prakasha varana. It removes the impurities from the mind. So, with that understanding, we have to do these breathing practices. So on a given day, you are doing the breathing. No, 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 this beer guy is giving me too much of practice. I'm totally upset, but still I have to do. What should I do? So it will cause you more problem. Do you see that? So the knowledge plus practice must go together. Huh? The mind must have that clarity. So when the mind has a clarity, mind is focused on the breathing, and mind is expecting the result, not reversing the result by thinking. So this is what our master says about this. So now what we will. So we create a lot of wrong notions and the false notion about it. I had. So I was breathing quick and fast yesterday, and a guest is there in my home. I can tell you, my daughter's fiance is there. No, it's a hyperventilation. I said, what about the dog who is constantly doing that kind of breathing? No, no, he is cooling down. I said, I am also cooling down. The pattern of the breathing is the same. I said, I want to know your logic. Which one is true? Secondly, the hyperventilation will take place only when your body is also exerting. You are not exerting your body at all. I tell you that keep your body totally steady and then start breathing. So we are better than dog. We are cooling down our mind. They are cooling our body. He's quite young, so I know. I left with that understanding. I said, you think over it. So sometimes we have a wrong notion. Second part is also important, that if you have some problem like hypertension or other challenges, that you should be forthwith, open with me, so that I see that what can be done and how it can be done. So otherwise there is no issue. Huh? There is no issue. So I believe the temperature in New Jersey is quite fine. So,